Welcome to Human Athlete. How are you? I hope you're doing well here. I hope you're good here. It's been a week, right? I hope your environment is as you need it to be. I hope that your environment is transforming the way that you are building it. And I hope that's progressing in a dynamic way. We've expanded the roster yet again. We will always expand the roster. Can never have enough guys or girls, peoples. Can never have enough people. So I'm thrilled you're here. I'm humbled you're here. I'm thrilled that you want to take part in our decision to build a better environment in the 21st century for our athletes. We deal a lot with the psychology of things in our environment for athletes and humans, but those are all transferable. And we do get into some of the skills and some other things in coaching psychology. We do dabble in that as well. So again, I'm blessed that you are here. Thank you for being here. No doubt. This week, coming off the NBA Finals, I was watching Jalen Brunson, and I was listening, more importantly, to Jalen and what he was saying. I do that quite often. I listen intently, and to hear what he's saying, the words that are matching his emotions. And I found something really interesting. He said quite a few times he didn't know how to put it. He didn't know what he was feeling. And I absolutely fell in love with that. Now, I know Jalen just a little bit. That is not to say I'm not riding coattails, none of that. But I was teaching and working at Stevenson when he was attending Stevenson High School out here in Illinois. So our conversations were very extensive. Hey, coach. Hey. Most importantly, it's what he didn't say, how he was struggling to find the words to match the emotions. So I got to thinking, coaches and athletes, what is that thing for exceptional leadership? What is that attribute for leaders that stand out among the status quo, let's say? And yeah, we can go down the whole line of usual suspects, right? Things that we say all the time when we answer this question, right? Respect, integrity, honesty, experience, right? They're humble, etc. We can rattle them all off. Well, all of those are important, and I'm not making light of those. I'm just not really emphasizing them at the moment. I personally believe they are a part of, but not an answer to. And I believe that really the answer to being an exceptional leader and that is an outlier among the status quo comes down to this. The variations of degrees of IQ, of course, are important, right? That experience, it's important, no doubt. But what is the one exceptional trait that really creates that outstanding leader, the outlier, in a positive way? EQ, emotional quotient, your EQ, your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence, right? Athletes or humans with a high sense of self-awareness will always be prepared to understand the emotional connections in a variety of situations on the field. And yes, experience does play a part here, of course, but don't make the mistake of believing that experience produces a high leadership EQ in an athlete. or a human, really. It's complicated. But for the sport aspect of it, that's not a direct line from one to the other, experience to having a high EQ. There are a tremendous amount of studies, and I'll include them in the verbiage below, that show the impact that leaders with high EQs make. And it's generally this indelible impact upon the teams that propel them to accomplishing their goals and even more than they could foresee. Right? Championships, state championships, right? Which are just outcomes of all of this. All of these things combined. So having a high EQ, right? It's a super important if you are, as a coach, looking for that leader, or if you're athletes and you're in a situation where a coach wants you to democratically choose someone, right? Psychologist Daniel Goleman, his emotional intelligence foundational framework, again, foundational, right, contains the following components that are found in emotional intelligence, or a high emotional quotient, right? And one, that is self-awareness. You're recognizing your own emotions, the reactions, and how your moods impact those around you, right? The other one, self-regulation, right? Controlling impulsive behaviors, controlling impulses, your ability to adapt to different and very fluid changing situations, right? Managing your emotions through those different circumstances. 3, motivation, right? That's conversation unto itself someday. But the motivation, that internal drive to continuously achieve the goals you have set out, to improve constantly, remain committed, right, to what you are doing, regardless of the external rewards coming to you or not coming to you. Let's see. The capacity to understand, right, the emotional makeup and perspectives of other people. I've been through that. I understand. Yeah, I get it, man. And it's not just lip service. You can't fake empathy. It's not a thing. And actually, when I was rereading this to refresh my memory, it occurred to me, like, you can't fake any of these. I mean, maybe in the short term, but long term, can't do it. And then the final one is social skills, right? Your ability to build and manage relationships, build bridges, manage the rapport you have with your teammates or your coaches, or coaches. This goes for also you as well, right? With your coaching staff, right? With stakeholders, the communications, the conflicts, your ability to manage all of those things. All 5 of these add up to someone who has an active, high emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. The EQ, emotional quotient, the emotional intelligence, that I deeply believe, passionately believe, is the difference between leaders that are kind of, status quo, and those who are absolute game changers. And that goes for athletes, it goes for coaches, it goes for stakeholders, it goes for organizations also. Absolutely. The New York Knicks goes for them. What did they do lately? My Hawks, my Seattle Seahawks, right? And even individuals, the group and the environment around, say, Lindsey Vonn, right? The knee problem, that whole situation, but look at what she accomplished. Can't take anything away. Can't. And the secret of those emotional leaderships is the EQ and all the components relatedly. And that goes, again, transferable on the field of play and off the field of play. It's transferable. It works both ways, right? As a human and as an athlete. Human athlete, you can't be one without being both.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.